Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Nikhil Mundra. I'm working with Evosys, primarily focusing on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and the security solutions, having a pre-sales rules to focus on how client can adopt to IaaS and other dependent cloud platform services. Today with me, I have Mitesh Patel as well, who will be presenting you a few slides about Evosys as an organization, how we work with Oracle. Now, looking at the current situation has made remote working as the new norm. We have been seeing more and more organizations feeling the need for workforce mobility that cloud provides. The question that has been rising is, should I stay it? Should I go? We are here today to give you some insight into your options and the starting point to move and improve your on-premise infrastructure to cloud. So before starting with the agenda and the presentation, here I would like to show you what, according to the technology surveys, are the biggest challenge the customers have in their mind when they look for adopting cloud infrastructure. So as you can see, the largest concerns are regarding the security and the compliance or SLA or the re-architecture of your on-premise application and the database. So in this webcast, we will be touching all the points in various sections as we go ahead with the presentation. So in today's webinar, the agenda has been divided into 7 parts. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Overview, Infrastructure Services, why Oracle OCI, the use cases where OCI is useful, about our organization Evosys, followed by a POC and a Q&A round. So most organizations have various IT strategic decisions to make based on the various application and the database running. Out of all the cloud vendors available today, Oracle is the only complete cloud solution provider where it offers all the 3 flavors of cloud, that is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, without requiring customers to do re-architecture and with full performance availability and the security in place. Oracle is focusing and putting all its energy in building the second generation OCI data center distributed all over the world. Currently, Oracle is having 16 data centers with multiple availability domains. Oracle is planning to increase the data centers to 36 by 2020. And if we look at the Singapore region here, you can see that Oracle is planning to have the data center by the second and the third quarter of 2020 in Singapore as well. Now, as per Oracle plan, by the end of 2020, Oracle will be having maximum number of data centers as compared to any competitor in the cloud market. Now, this is the basic architecture diagram or overview of the OCI. So we will start from the very bottom and we'll move upwards. So in the very last, regions are mentioned. So region is nothing but a cluster of an availability domains. So these availability domains are connected through a network backbone, which provides a very high throughput and low latency connectivity. Now each AD has multiple fault domains, like each AD1 is having 3 fault domains, which is again a independent infrastructure and provides a very high throughput in between them. If we go above, there is a physical network underline OCI are designed to support all the servers using their full 25 Gbps bandwidth simultaneously. On our flat network design limits the number of hops required to get from one server to another within an availability domain, which results in higher performance and lower network latencies. Now, other cloud vendors virtualizes I/O through hypervisors, but OCI does it in the network itself, providing better encapsulation and isolation, as well as supporting unique compute option. Now, our software-defined network enable us to provide you with both the virtual and the bare metal compute instances all available on the same network and accessible through the same portal and API set. The basic infrastructure, object, block, file, and the archive storage support broad range of application, and local NVMe storage on the bare metal compute instances provide millions of IOPS, which is no match with any other cloud vendors in terms of the performance. Oracle has built a set of cloud native services on this foundation, including monitoring, compute, edge, and also Terraform to manage your infrastructure as a code. Each services such as global DNS and web application firewalls and dedicated network connectivity, including the Fast Connect. Oracle has extended the public cloud capabilities with its unique management and the governance feature. Also, they have introduced one more level of security using the compartments. So you can see here department A, B, and C. So in an organization, there are multiple departments, multiple teams. So at that level also, you can have the bifurcation in terms of what can be accessed by whom without having identity and governance. That is the second part layer of the security. Moving to the next agenda, it is information about the complete cloud infrastructure services. So as you can see here, the services are basically divided into 12 sections. So compute, storage, autonomous database, security, edge, networking, containers like Kubernetes, governance, that is compartments, which you already discussed, taggings, cloud at the rate customer, then data movement. So these are the different kind of services which we will be going through in the next few slides. So to give a better representation or a simpler representation layer wise of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Services. So for the storage, we have local NVMe, block, object, file, and backup and transfer storage. Then networking, we have virtual cloud network, load balancers, DNS, fast connect, and the VPN connectivity, that is site-to-site IPsec connectivity. In the compute, there are different compute machines available. Bare metal, which is a dedicated machine for the client only. Then we have bare metal plus graphical processing unit and the virtual machine. Same goes with virtual machine plus graphical processing unit. Along with all this is managed with the manageability and the security features of the OCI. Now looking at the virtual cloud network, so Oracle VCN gives you complete set of services required in the cloud with same network flexibility which is available in the on-premise. You can build VCN with granular controls using subnet, gateways, network ingress and egress rules for each and every application and a database you will deploy in Oracle Cloud. Also, VCN provides secure and dedicated network connectivity between your data center, on-premise data center, and the OCI data center via Fast Connect. Along with this, VCN provides functionality like site-to-site VPN, which help you in securing, having a secure access to the application, but over a public network. Every layer of enterprise can be secured using separate ingress and egress network rules, which helps you in building security for your application and the database layer separately and effectively. Now, focusing on compute machines with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, customers are provided with broad range of compute services from small and virtualized to a very large and dedicated web servers to high performance application servers, including storage, memory, and the high performance network. So we have built different shapes of VM and BM compute available. So VM is basically a virtualized compute instances which you will be sharing. So basically, it will be one physical machine, and on in that physical machine there will be multiple virtual machines, which will be shared by different customers, but having a different tenancy and separated by virtual cloud network and the other security protocols. So all these computes are available with either pay-as-you-go model or a subscription model with OCI. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure provides optimized storage for any use case. In OCI, we have local NVMe, SSD for transactional database and high performance requirement, file storage, which can be scaled to exabyte, useful for big data analytics or container based application. Block storage use case is for application development and basic deployment of 3-tier applications. Object storage is basically used for backup and archiving, and it's most economical as well. Max object size, a single object size for object storage is 10 terabyte, a single object. It is not the limit, it is a single object size I'm saying. Now coming to the database services, it will be nothing new if I say Oracle database is world's best in meeting the requirement of customers. In cloud, customers can host database in virtual machine, bare metal. They can also have an option of real application cluster as well as Exadata. So if any customer is having on-premise DB licenses, it can be used in cloud using an option called as BYOL, that is bring your own licenses. Rack feature is available as of now only in virtual machine and the Exadata machines. Only Oracle is the cloud provider which provides engineered system on the cloud. Oracle Cloud Exadata services are offered in 3 different versions: quarter, half, and full rack, and customers can choose it as per the requirement. Looking at the set of features available for Exadata options, you can see here all the latest features from multi-tenancy, in-memory DB, real application clusters, active data guard, from the performance enhancement features as well as with the security features. All these features, set of features are available with the Exadata machines. Now, Oracle is the only autonomous database available with option of serving customers for both workload type, that is transactional workload as well as data warehouse. Currently, all organizations having on-premise database are handling day-to-day activities or patching via manual steps or some activity on a schedule basis via cron jobs in Linux or schedulers in Windows. With autonomous database, Oracle has successfully built a database which is self-driving, self-securing, and self-repairing. Oracle autonomous database are divided into 2 sections, as you can see in the slide: autonomous data warehouse and autonomous transaction processing. So autonomous data warehouse is basically used in data warehouse kind of activity, data mart, data lake, machine learning, and transaction processing. Autonomous database is used for transaction batch reporting, IoT, as well as machine learning. Talking about the wide variety of deployment options which Oracle provides to customers, is DB installed on Oracle Exadata on-premise, DB installed on OCI, on DBCS or cloud@customer, and autonomous database. So there is a wide variety of deployment choice which customer can choose as per their requirement. Setting up the database in DBCS is very simple and a matter of few clicks. Only thing which is required for customer to do is to make the right choice of deployment which can provide maximum performance and security and availability for their solution. So with the database as a cloud services, it reduces time and complexity to provision the database services. It increases the standardization of how the database should be deployed each time you need it. Also used to deploy maximum availability architecture, that is MAA, which is very common with all of us who are familiar with the Oracle database. Now, difference between on-premise and the Oracle database cloud services is hosting is depicted clearly in this example. So in the on-premise scenario, we used to do is take the peak value and put a buffer on top of that peak value. So if you see in this on-premise, the number of cores which require due to this scenario is 32 cores. And the same can be achieved in the cloud using 16 cores, where we set the number of cores requirement based on the frequent loads and use the bursting feature for the infrequent loads or for the safety margin. So the same load can be taken care with the less number of cores in the cloud. Now this diagram is showing you the basic architecture that how Oracle Cloud Infrastructure hosts application and the database. So you can see it's a one region. Suppose Jeddah is a one region. In that region, there is one tenancy which we have created for the customer, and under that tenancy, there is a virtual cloud network with different subnets: subnet for web tier, subnet for application tier, development tier, and database tier. All these subnets can have a different set of ingress, egress, and network rules, which helps you in protecting the application of the database, which you will be hosting in these different subnets. Along with that, there is a feature of fast connect availability for higher bandwidth and consistent performance over the network. Also, there is an option for an VPN IPsec connectivity. It can have an internet gateway for the application which requires to be accessed via internet. Now, coming to the third part of the webinar is the why one should choose Oracle OCI. So any organization would like and be interested in knowing the benefits of moving to cloud infrastructure from both business and IT point of view. So this slide has been divided into 4 pillars, that is cost, innovation, transformation, and performance. So if you look at the cost, it reduces the on-premise infrastructure and it eliminates the hardware refresh and the capacity planning cycles, because we all know that in case of buying a new hardware, it's a very long cycle. At least 3 to 4 months of cycle is required. Then looking at the innovation, it accelerates business transformation and innovation by getting new apps out quickly. You can have your infrastructure set up quickly, you can have your network requirements set up quickly, and it can be rolled out to the entire world at one go. Then from the IT point of view, it consolidated Oracle apps silos with disparate on-premise hardware into a single cloud infrastructure. Same way, we have listed benefits for the transformation and the performance as well. Now, how is security and the availability managed in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure at each level? So there are 7 different levels we have defined. So out of those 7 different levels, the first, second, and the third is something which is controlled by the customer itself, and the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh is something which is taken care by Oracle itself. So if you look at the customer isolation, so how a customer want to isolate their environment based on the tenancy, based on the hardware itself, using compartments. So all these features are available and can be taken into consideration while designing the cloud infrastructure. Same way, data encryption, customer can get their own keys to encrypt the data, or customer can use the Oracle managed keys as well. Then with the security controls, how a single user or an instance can access the services of the other instances and application, or the authentication of that particular user can be managed using the security controls. The other part, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I'll not be going in detail because that is something which is managed by Oracle itself. Now, here is a list of the compliances which are already covered with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and Oracle is continuously working to add more. But few of the important ones which I would like to highlight is SOC 1, 2, and 3, then ISO, HIPAA, and PCI DSS compliant, which is for the credit card security and other stuff. Now, talking about security is incomplete without having a look at the security features available for the database. So Oracle is providing these 6 set of security features at the database level. Oracle Advanced Security, that is for transparent data encryption and redaction, and Oracle Key Vault for safeguarding encryption keys and wallets. Oracle Database Vaults for access controls and the separation of duties. Oracle data masking and subsetting. This is something which is implemented on the non-production environment, and it's a reversible process. Then we have Oracle Audit Vault and Database Firewall and Oracle Label Security. Now, overview of the different security services available in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So it is available at the database level, identity level, that is authentication, CASB cloud services. CASB cloud services is something called as user behavior analytics. So suppose a user currently had logged into the application from Singapore, and suddenly after 1 hour, that same user login is coming from USA region. So that is something is not possible for a user to have a login from Singapore and after 1 hour or 2 hour from USA. So that is something which is captured in CASB, and required actions are being taken. Then web application firewall and the OCI level security from the infrastructure point of view. Oracle is the only cloud infrastructure provider to guarantee SLA, not just to availability part, but also extending it to the performance of different OCI services and the manageability. So you can see here we have mentioned Oracle, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, where availability is something which is covered by all the cloud providers, but where Oracle is differentiating from the others is in the performance and the manageability. Now, what is the difference between Oracle and the other cloud providers? So here, how we have listed it down in 4 points. So OCI supports as-is migration for any workload and apps. So there is no requirement of re-architecturing, and you can just migrate it as it is. And faster and consistent performance. This is already covered with the SLA of Oracle for all the parts of the OCI, that is availability, performance, and manageability. And the third section is Oracle on Oracle. So Oracle has built up its cloud infrastructure in such a way that it gets the maximum performance, availability, and support for the Oracle applications on the Oracle Cloud. And the last one is the enterprise features. So there are 3 different pricing models available with OCI, like pay as you go, universal credit, and bring your own license model. So if any organization have clear idea about the future plan and usage, should go for universal credit monthly flex. This is where they get the maximum benefits in terms of, you can see minimum 33% savings for the past products, but then still it is subject to the Oracle. Then you can have your bring your own licenses. So if you're having your databases or WebLogic running, right, or any application on premise of Oracle, so you can utilize those very licenses in the cloud itself, which reduces the cost again. Now here is a list of services available with the PaaS cloud layer, which can be integrated with IaaS. So like data integration, business analytics, identity and security, IT management, and data management. So these are the services which are available and closely integrated with the IaaS base as well. Now, what are the key benefits of Oracle IaaS? It is cost effective, quick and easy setup, multiple pricing models. And the main benefit here is Oracle resources prices are same in all the regions, unlike other cloud vendors where the prices are different based on the region wise. And full control, no vendor lock-in is required. You can have that resources for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. There is no lock-in by Oracle. And then maximum uptime and zero risk failures, reliable high performance, which is covered by the SLA of Oracle itself. World-class security based on the different level of security, database, identity, governance, OCI, data center level security. All these are covered by Oracle. Then high flexibility without redundancy. Now coming to the fourth section of our webinar, that is OCI enterprise use cases. So any customer who is looking to migrate or move their apps and workload to the cloud would have first question in mind as, will my application and database and the surrounding systems will work in cloud or not? So this slide will answer you that very question. Oracle Cloud doesn't just support Oracle-based apps or database, but also third-party application and the in-house build custom application based on PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Java, right? As well as apart from Oracle database, it supports MySQL, MongoDB, Cassandra. So there is no limit or there is no restrictions on what can be migrated to OCI. So you can move any workload to Oracle Cloud. So looking at the enterprise level applications which Oracle has in the offering, that is eBusiness Suite, JD Edward, PeopleSoft, and Siebel. So all these applications, Oracle has itself migration tools to some level which can make the task easy in migrating from from on-premise to the cloud. And the main benefit which you receive with IS is that you can have all your customizations intact by moving to the cloud. Unlike other layer of cloud where some of the customizations are not available at all. Now, three approaches which are available in moving in moving workload to OCI. So the first one is complete OCI. So in this approach, application and database both runs on OCI, and customer control both application and the database. This will be the case when the basically you can control and maintain the app and as well as middle tier and the database in OCI. Then the second approach is application on OCI and database as a cloud services. So you control and maintain still the application completely. Database cloud services as being a PaaS component, some of them are controlled by the Oracle itself. Then the third part is you have OCMS and DBCS. So it is basically covered by Oracle itself. So Oracle or MSP manages everything for you in this third option. So these are the three options available where you can look for migrating to OCI. So coming to the next agenda is about Evosys, and here I would like to invite Mr. Mitesh, my colleague, to present the slides. Mitesh?
Hey, thanks, Nikhil. Thank you very much. Yep, we can go ahead. Hey, hi guys. Good morning. This is Mitesh. I am regional manager for Evosys, looking after the cloud technologies like analytics, RPA, IoT, and like OCI that Nikhil is talking about. To talk about Evosys, Nikhil, can you go on the next slide? Yeah. So Evosys is a global company. We are in this business from last 13 years now, and we are present in 30 countries. Our headquarters for ASEAN is in Singapore, and we have more than 100 customers in ASEAN region at this moment. We started our business from Middle East, and then we have expanded our roots to UK, USA, ANZ, ASEAN, and recently we have added Africa as part of our territory. We have more than 1,000 plus Oracle Cloud customer. So if you see it globally, then 5% of Oracle Cloud customers are being implemented by Evosys. So we are one of the biggest Oracle implementation partner in the cloud field. We work across the pillars. So when it comes to cloud, we implement SaaS application, we implement analytics, and we also do the OCI services, which is related to managed services and migrating entire workload to the cloud. So in services, as you can see, we almost do everything, starting from implementation support, upgrade, migration, security check, training. And we also provide the resource augmentation where you just want resources to manage your internal infrastructure on cloud. We also provide that service. In terms of employee strength, we have more than 1,500 employees now. And out of this 1,500, the 500 plus consultants are Oracle certified. And these are some recent awards that we won in the last year. And these awards are being awarded by Oracle only. So for our services, and you can see that we are Global Partner of the Year for our HCM implementation. We are Partner of the Year for ASEAN for our EPM services, and this shows what quality work we are delivering to our customer. Yeah, next. This is our presence. So if we talk about industry, then we have a good experience across all the industries you can see on the board. So starting from shipping to public sector to healthcare to retail, oil and gas, hospitality, FMCG trading, uh, all of the places we have done a certain implementation, and we know the domain, how it works and what kind of application these different domains are using, and how we can improve those overall infrastructure by including or by introducing cloud into that. Yep. Next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take over it from here, Mitesh. Thank you, Mitesh. So now looking at what Evosys has in offering in terms of Oracle IaaS. So basically our services, we have divided it into three parts, that is consultancy services, migration services, and the support services. Now what we do in the consultancy services, so this is basically an assessment phase which is conducted by the Evosys cloud team, where we gather the information about the systems which are running in your on-premise environment, and we conduct a HLA meeting with the customer to understand the environment and provide with a report which provides the detail about the right migration path as well as high level solution design, that this is how you should be migrating, or this is what it is the best suited way for the migration of your application and the workload. So the next part, which is the migration services. Now, post this consultancy services, where we put down everything on paper, the design and the path which is required to be taken. In the migration services, that is the actual steps which is being done, where the actual application and the workloads get migrated to the cloud. That's the third services is the support services. So post migration to Oracle Cloud, Evosys offers a hypercare support to customers based on the complexity of the project, as well as we provide managed services for longer term of period with the customers. Now, there is a very important thing that we are currently we are providing customers, any customers, either our existing customers or a new customers who are looking for migration to OCI, a free assessment, where we will do a free assessment for you and will provide you with the guidance required that this is how it should be done. So this is a free services which we are offering. Now, cloud migration strategy and the solution design is basically or primarily depending upon these six pillars, which we factor at very granular level before pitching solution design to the customer. So the six pillars are as like application downtime. So this is something which is very much required. When we should come to know that what is the downtime can be accepted by the customers. Then how much network latency is customer comfortable with, and based on that, either VPN services or fast connect approach can be discussed. And business criticality, data complexity is very important because there are different approaches where how you can migrate the data from on-premise to the cloud, that is via import export data pump, or via SQL developer, or via RMAN. So all these have a certain set of features which we have to consider, and that solution of or that decision of which approach to be used depends upon the data complexity. Then the next one is the OS and the hardware check. Now, suppose if the customer is looking for migration on-premise environment on Solaris and move to OCI, so it will be a cross-platform migration because currently Oracle Cloud Infrastructure doesn't support Solaris and Linux Titanium. So it will be a cross-platform migration from Solaris to Linux. So that is how where this part of the strategy comes very handy, where we have to decide what will be the future one. Then the database size. What is the database size which we are looking to migrate? All right, 10 terabyte size of database approach will be different as compared to the database size of 1 terabyte. So all these are the six basic or the main pillars which are required for the cloud migration strategy, apart from the other small things which we consider. Now, cloud migration So this is the first step which is required, that is move, right? So in move part, we provide three services: professional experts, automation tools, and no re-architecture. So in professional services, we provide the team of expert which will do the evaluation and do the migration and maintain the application as well. Also with that, we are providing proof of concepts, POC, for your application which you're looking to move to OCI. Along with that, there is an automation tool. So we try to create an automation using infrastructure as a code, or create a baseline in terms of migrating your application and the workload to the cloud. So it will not be like whatever the level of migrate automation is possible. So that will be established as a baseline, and apart top of that, there will be migration steps. And no re-architecture is required. This is the agenda of Oracle as well. So it is an as-is migration. You can have bring your own licenses. No retaining is required. There is no lockdown, and the fastest path to the cloud. Now, once you move, the next step comes is you have to improve. So it is again divided into three parts: enterprise cloud infrastructure, enterprise database and the platform integration, and rapid provisioning and the scalable capacity. So enterprise cloud infrastructure, you can have its broad area of compute, storage, and the networking options are available, based on which you can improve depending upon the uh, outcome of the performance, availability, and the manageability. Then availability domain supports HA and the DR configurations, and industry leading SLAs are already being taken care by Oracle itself. Then enterprise database and the platform design. So there is an feature: high availability, scalability is already available with a real application cluster feature. Then DB specific security, which we have discussed earlier. There are 6 database level security features available. Integrations with Oracle PaaS features like autonomous integration cloud, Java cloud services, and others are also available with the same. Then rapid provisioning and the scalable capacity. Now this is the main feature of a cloud, is to have the provisioning as fast as possible and scalability also as fast as possible. Now, what is the cloud migration methodology which Evosys adopts? So it is a 6-phase methodology where we do the cloud assessment phase. That is, right now it is a free assessment phase provided by Evosys. Then once this cloud assessment phase is done, then we start with the designing and the provisioning of the cloud solution design, which we have built in the cloud assessment phase. Post that, once the cloud has been designed and provisioned, then we migrate the database to the cloud. Post that database migration, we migrate the apps to the cloud. And once till this fourth step, so it completes your migration or move of your on-premise infrastructure to the cloud. So in the fifth step, we monitor and govern this cloud environment, and based on that, we optimize and scale the cloud environment if required. Now, why Evosys for Oracle IaaS and PaaS? Evosys is providing a team of cloud experts. We are offering managed services post migration. So it's not like just a migration. Till migration, we want a relationship with the customer. Then migration to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So we have governance and the security configuration experts. So it's not like the one who is doing the migration is doing the security as well. So we have different experts for different part of the job. Then experience with non-Oracle and Oracle workload to OCI. So again, not just Oracle application or the database we are looking for. We do experience. We do have experience with non-Oracle products as well in migrating to cloud. And the number of projects which we have done, all are having a 100% success ratio in terms of cloud migration. Now here are the few references which we have mentioned from the list of the projects which we have completed. So the first one is Al Khatani Beverages. So Al Khatani Beverages is a franchised bottler of Pepsi Cola Incorporation, which is supplying soft drinks to more than 4 million people in the southern region of Saudi Arabia. The customer wanted to migrate their e-business suite 11.9 and R12 from Solaris to Oracle Linux. So this is very important, from Solaris to Linux, because it's a cross-platform migration. And the database was upgraded from 9i to 11gr2. The database size which was at this customer was 1.2 tera, and the challenge was to have this migration 11i and R12 both at the same time in parallel. Then the next one, Axiom Telecom. This is very interesting case because it shows Evosys expertise in terms of migrating and custom in-house based application running on top of Oracle database. So Axiom Telecom, basically it's a distributor, retailer and distributor of mobile in the whole Gulf. So at any point of time, this customer application is having 40,000 concurrent active users, and the total users which was there was more than a lakh, and the anytime concurrent for 40,000 plus users were active. Now, being the retailer and the distributor, the limit which the customer was having is the least downtime possible, and the database size was 2+ terabyte. Now the downtime which was provided by customer was only 4 hours, and but that we have done that in 10 minutes only. Yes, in 10 minutes we have migrated their 2+ terabyte of database and the application to the cloud. So that is something achievement in migration. Then we have Emirates Hospital. This is one of the very first project we did in cloud migration, and this was done on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Classic, which was the first version of OCI by Oracle. So here the migration was from R12.2.5 to Oracle Cloud, and basically customer wanted to migrate all their non-production environment, production environment to the cloud. And later we have built the DR site as well on that on this for this customer. Then we have Bakasab Transport and Trading Company. So here the main agenda of showing you this is the different application where we have done the migration. So here the customer wanted to migrate their OTM and SOA suite from on-premise to the cloud. Now there are a few other references which I would like to share. Is one is the Al Ghihas. So in that customer, we have migrated e-business suite, databases, as well as Primavera, all three together to the OCI. And the other one, which we are in the final stage of finalizing, is one of the project in Qatar, where we are not just migrating PeoplesSoft Campus Solution 9.0 to the cloud, but we are upgrading along with that migration from 9.0 to 9.2. PeoplesSoft Campus Solution migration and upgrade is one of the very big and a complex activity which we will be taking in. Now I'll be starting with a recorded POC section. So I'll be playing that now for you. This section of the webcast will be covering POC. So in this POC, the main agenda is to show you how quickly resources can be deployed in OCI for high availability architecture. Now for achieving this high availability architecture, what all resources will be required, and we will be touching all the resources are as below. We will be creating a VCN, virtual cloud network. Then instance creation, there will be 2 instances we will be creating, installing HTTPD RPM on both the instances, changing security list to allow the port 80 to communicate. Then a load balancer will be created. So let's start with the POC straight away. So first thing we have to go to oraclecloud.com. You will land on the index homepage of the Oracle Cloud, where you will be presented with the symbol and click sign into cloud.
Here the cloud account name, so we have given the name as Evosys DBA and then click next. In the next step, they will ask you to identify yourself with username and password. So here's our username and we are providing the password. Once you sign in, you will be landing on the page where all the services will be visible of OCI. Now, once you land on that page, you will see plethora of services available in OCI, which I'll be showing you. I'll just give you a brief what all services are there, and then we will proceed with the POC part. So here you can see on the left side, you can see there are core infrastructure services like compute is there. So you can see instances, instance pool, cluster network, custom images, and all these options are available. Then there is block storage, object storage, and file storage. All three kind of storages are available on the navigation bar. Then there is a networking where you can create virtual cloud network. You can create load balancer, public IPs, DNS zone management. So all the options are available. Then if you go down, there is another option called as database. So where there you have different options: bare metal, VM, Exadata, autonomous database, data safe, which is a new feature. Then Exadata cloud at customer. Then there is data AI solution platform, email delivery is there, monitoring is there, where you can create an alarm to set the health check for your resources which you have deployed. And there are different options available for governance and administrations as well. So now let's start with our part. So first step is to create a VCN. So go to networking and virtual cloud network. So for any deployment, you have to first create a virtual cloud network. So we are here giving the name as OCI POC VCN. And we are selecting the compartment as root. You have to select a compartment. You cannot do it without compartment. Now the next option which we are selecting is create virtual cloud network plus related resources. So all the resources will be created automatically for us. So now let's create virtual cloud network. It will not take much time. This will be completed like within 30 seconds. You can see the VCN is now available. So what all information you can get is all the three public subnets is also available with you. Now the next step is to create instances, compute instances which will run within this VCN. Now as we are having a high availability demo, so we will be creating two instances. So now let's create instance. So here you can select any kind of resources. It can be virtual machine, it can be bare metal. So completely the choices of the customer depending upon the business need. So here we will be selecting a virtual machine, which will be a free tier machine available for us, and that we will be using for the POC demo. So here you have to give the name. So we are giving the name as OCI POC node 1. You have the options of changing the image source. If you don't want Oracle Linux 7.7, you can click here and you can see there are different options available in each images. So in platform images, you have these images available by the Oracle itself. And in Oracle images also you will get a list of images. So but we will be going ahead with the Oracle Linux 7.7. You can choose the size, shape, and the availability domain. So we are choosing AD1, and we are using virtual machine, always free. Then you can see here the VCN is automatically selected from the root because we are giving the compartment as root, and we have created already the VCN in the root compartment. Now, as we are having a deployment of a web page, so we are assigning a public IP address, paste SSH key to SSH to that instance. So we have already done this part. We will be just copying and pasting this key. And here you can see the fault domain, which was there in the architecture as well. So for the AD1, we are selecting fault domain 1, and we are creating the instance. So while this instance is getting created, we will start with the process of creating the next instance as well. So let's go again to the navigation drawer, compute and instances. Here we will click on create instance, and we will start with the same process for creating the second node. So here we are giving it as OCI POC node 2. We are keeping the image as same. We are selecting AD2, availability domain 2, virtual machine. The shape is 1 core OCPU, 15 GB memory. Then assign a public IP address, paste the SSH key, which we have already available, and we will be copy and pasting it again. So pretty much the same steps for creating this. So we have done selected everything, and we will be creating the node 2. Now you can see how quick is instances getting deployed in OCI. So we'll again go to compute and instances. We will see that node 1 would already be in the running state. See, so now the next step is we have to install HTTPD RPM. So we'll click on that instance and get the public IP address. Now the details are loading. So see, now the public IP address is available with us. We can log into the PuTTY to this instances. So this is how easy the access is there to the instances. The default user which is available is OPC, where you can sudo and go to the root section. Now here we will be installing HTTPD. Meanwhile, we will go and check whether the second instance is available or not. Now the next step is starting this HTTPD, and we will stop firewall. These three same steps we will be doing on node 2 as well. Let's open a new PuTTY session and get the detail of the public IP address. So same way, OPC, login as OPC, and then sudo root and yum install HTTPD. Then once this process is complete, we will start the HTTPD service on the node 2 as well. Now the next step is to start the services and stop the firewall. Now, once all these steps are completed on both node 1 and node 2, we are bound to start with so you can see the complete details like which fault domain, which availability domain, what is the VCN being used, what is the private IP address, what is the public IP address. All these details are very easily available on the console itself. So here we are doing the same steps which we have done for node 2. We are trying to log in into the session SCP session of /0, as it means that any traffic from the internet is allowed on port 80. So we have done this setting. Now, as we are having 2 nodes, we have to build a load balancer. For high availability, load balancer is necessary. So now we are creating a load balancer where we will be attaching both the instances into this load balancer. Now there are different options also available in the load balancer through which we can use. For this, we are using the name as OCI POC load balancer. Visibility is public, and we are using small. Then the cloud network, and select the protocol. Sorry. Once all these steps are done, we have to click on create load balancer, and this step will also be completed within 10-15 seconds. Now, once you get the IP address of the load balancer, public IP address of the load balancer, if we hit this URL, it is connected to node 1. If we again hit this, it will say you are connected to node 2. So this is how the load balancer is working. So sometimes you are getting the connection to node 1, sometimes you are getting the connection to node 2. This is the purpose of the demo, and we have achieved the high availability environment where the connections are going to node 1 and node 2. This is the end of the POC section. Thank you.
Yeah, hello guys, everyone. So we have completed the demo where we have tried to demonstrate how a high availability application using compute, storage, load balancers, and the networking policies can be achieved. Now we are into the very last part of the webinar, that is Q&A. So I'll be very happy to answer you if you have any queries. Also, just to repeat, we are offering free assessment services, which is a free services basically where we sit with you, we check your environment, we do the brainstorming part from our end, and we provide you with the solution diagram as well as the other details, which will be helpful for you to estimating from your end or discussing internally with within your team. So this is something unique feature which we are providing from our end, Evosys end. So if there is no other questions, I'll wait for a minute or so. If anyone is having any questions, please let us know, or else we will end this session after a minute.
Yeah, I think Nikhil, we can end this. Thank you very much, guys, to join this session. And at any point of time, as Nikhil has mentioned, right, if you are interested in to know the total cost of ownership to migrate to the cloud, we can very well help you on that part. Thank you very much for joining this session. Thank you.
Thank you all.